All right, everyone. Good morning. I hope everyone, sorry, I hope everyone is having a great start to the morning. How many of you who are attending today's live streaming session is excited to learn and hopefully get some new hot stock recommendations? I can see Sophia in the chat house. Hello, Sophia. How are you? I hope you're having a great morning as well. And it's always a pleasure to have you in our live streaming sessions. Your participation in the live streaming sessions makes me more confident and makes me provide better content in terms of the financial markets. So, let's start with today's first live streaming session. All right, so let me start by giving a quick introduction about myself. I am Harsh. I have 8 years of trading experience. I have been trading the financial markets for the last 8 years, particularly in the forex markets, in the commodity markets like oil, gold, silver, as well as the US based indices such as the S&P 500, the Dow Jones 30 and the Nasdaq 100. Currently we are also looking at the Indian share market where we are analyzing the blue chip indices like the Nifty 50 and the BSE 30, as well as identifying for hot stock recommendations in the individual Indian stocks. I am more of a technical trader. I specialize in technical analysis, correct? So, concepts such as supply demand, price action, order flow analysis, swing analysis, wave analysis, and Fibonacci retracement analysis. These are the major concepts that I am, highly specialized in. I have been blessed to be a part of a group of mentors who have provided me with invaluable experience and knowledge when it comes to the financial markets. I have been trained and guided by people who used to work as floor traders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. I have also been successful in handling $25 million dollars worth of portfolio. And on top of that, I have also been able to generate a consistent profitability between 30 to 35% on an annual basis. So, this is very important for me to share this information with you because you can be rest assured that the information that Harsh is providing to you is being provided by someone who has the knowledge, the experience, and the expertise when it comes to the financial markets. So, once again, how many of you are excited for today's live streaming session? Write down, say yes in the comment box, say whatever you feel like because our live streaming sessions are going to be based on sorry, more of an interaction. All right, I will be doing most of the talking, but I also need to make sure that I am getting a response, I'm getting feedback so that I can gauge, understand, and modify my content if required based on our community members. Does that sound good? All right. So, what is the main objective for everyone who is attending this live streaming session? Right? What are your objectives? Write down in the chat box. So people are saying, Harsh, of course, we are here to make money. We want to learn how to make money. We want to follow people who can provide us with content in terms of generating profits, right? When it comes to the financial markets. And that is exactly what Harsh at Dolphin Markets is going to be providing you. I Harsh from Dolphin Markets will be providing you with valuable content, right? Content in terms of analysis. We would be analyzing the entire Indian stock market, and based upon the analysis, I would be updating you with all the news and information that are currently happening in the Indian share market. I would be providing you with the second important or second valuable content, and that is hot stock recommendations. How many of you want to make profits in the financial markets? Write down in the chat box. I would love to know your response. All right, so people are saying yes, they want to make good amount of profits, right? And that is what I want to showcase you. We have been diligently maintaining our financial sheet, right? So all the way from 18th of September, that is 3 months back, right? Today being 20th of December, we have just accomplished the 3 month milestone, and over the span of 3 months, we have been able to generate a consistent and a fabulous cumulative profitability of a 237% return, right? How many of you will be wanting to make such kind of returns for yourselves? How many of you would want to make it? Write down in the comment box and let me know your answers. All right, people are saying yes, Harsh. We will definitely want to make such kind of returns. We would love to be having, to be able to make these kind of returns. That is the power that Harsh is providing to you from Dolphin Markets, right? So over the span of the last 3 months, we have been consistently providing you with hot stock recommendations. So whenever we are analyzing the markets, and if I come across a high probability trade that can generate us profits, I will let you know, right? Whenever I analyze and I come across a hot stock, I will be providing you with parameters such as the name of the stock, the entry, the 5% target, and additional targets as well. But most importantly, we will be also looking at focusing on possession size, right? Many people are not focusing on this particular aspect, but it is very important. We do not believe in going all in. We are not gamblers, we are traders and analysts, correct? So we want to focus on risk management as well. So all these parameters will be provided to you, and based on the last 3 months, you can see it for yourself that we have been consistently generating, right? As of today's live streaming session, you can see it for yourself. What is the what is the title for today's live streaming session? Right, the title is 41% profitability generated in the current month of December. We are showing to you on a real-time basis that first and foremost, it is possible to make profits in the financial markets. And second, it's not just about making profits, but it is about making consistent profits. How many of you are understanding? If you're understanding, write down in the comment box and say, yes, Harsh, we are understanding. So over the span of 3 months, consistently we have been providing you with trade recommendations that have been able to generate with an average of 5% profitability per trade, right? 38 trades have been taken, and a cumulative profitability of 237 profit has been generated just in the month of December, right? 20 days have crossed as of yet in December, and we are already sitting at a 41% profitability. How fabulous these returns are. I am sure every one of you would be loving to make these kind of returns, right, when it comes to the financial markets. So how many of you would want to make 41% in the month of December? How many of you would want to replicate and follow us and see the results unfold in terms of generating money? Write down in the comment box and let me know your answers. Do you think you can be able to make? Then write down and say, yes, Harsh, we can make by following you. You can write whatever comments you want. I need to have an interaction so that I can be able to connect with our beautiful community members and I can talk to them. I can see Rocky in the chat house. Good morning, Rocky. A very, very, very good morning. And it's a pleasure to have you in our live streaming sessions as well. So now, with the content that I have been sharing you, right, with the performance of our hot stock recommendations that have been, generating fantastic returns, I want to make it clear that since I am putting a lot of energy, a lot of effort for you, I need to make sure that people are reciprocating me. I need to make sure that people are taking action, right? We do not want people who are just listening from one ear and removing it from the other. We want people to take action. How many of you are willing to take action? Write down in the comment box. Correct. It is very important to keep taking action, because only if you take action can you see the profits coming in. So make sure, first and foremost, be attentive for all my live streaming sessions. And secondly, make sure that you are keeping your trading account open as well. We at Dolphin Markets are not associated with any Indian financial brokerage service. You will have to open your own account, or if you already have, that is very good. So whenever the live streaming sessions are being taken, just make sure that you are attentive. Very important, right? I hope everyone should be very clear that it is value that we are providing, right? High value content. So make sure that you are paying attention. For those of you who want to take notes, can please do so. Make sure you have your pen and paper with you, so that any doubts, any queries, any hot stock recommendations that I'm sharing, you can start taking it on your accounts as well. If you want to write notes, you can write down your notes as well. Does that sound good? So if it is possible for us to generate such kind of returns, we want to do it for our viewers, our community members as well. And that is why we are having these live streaming sessions. But be aware that this is the last month where we would be having our public live streaming sessions. Moving on to the next year, 2025, in the month of Jan, the first week of Jan, we are shifting from our live streaming sessions to the private streaming sessions, because we want to make sure that people are paying attention and taking action. We want people who can take action to make money. Does that sound good? All right, so now I have Sophia writing the overall market is still falling. Yes, Sophia, even today the market has been bearish. There has been, bearish sentiment in the markets, and we would be analyzing the markets for you and looking at what are the major reasons, right? So let us just start with this first question that we have come across from Sophia, right? So let me just open my web page and let me show it to you. Now, coming to the overall index, right? Coming to the overall sentiment, how the markets have opened, what the markets are doing, we will quickly have a look, right? So overall, as you can see, the Sensex has dropped 400 points, and the financials, the IT, FMCGs are weighing down the financial markets, right? Even the Nifty has been trading lower after a mixed open on Friday, amid a slew of global clues, right? Cues. Everyone is aware that yesterday we had the US federal rate cut that had taken place, and because of that, there has been skepticism in the overall global markets, right? We will look at it and let us see. So in terms of BSE, there were 30 stocks which were trading higher, but gains led by so and so. We are focusing on Nifty. So in the Nifty 50, more than half of the stocks were trading higher. All right, with the IT sector doing pretty phenomenal. All right, but all the sectors have also been performing quite decently. But overall, the reason for the skepticism in the markets has been because of none other than the rates or the stimulus that had been taken place by the US economy on the dollar rate cut as of yesterday, right? How many of you are aware that there was a federal rate cut that had taken place yesterday? So with yesterday's federal rate cut, you could see that the previous rate that had been mentioned, that had been sustained, was 4.75, now reduced to 4.5. So there has been a decline of 25 basis point. With the decline of 25 basis point, people are it is having an inverse relationship on the dollar as well, right? So let me just quickly show it to you, Sophia, so that you can be clear in terms of what I am providing you with information. So first and foremost, we just need to understand how the overall Dixie is looking, because the main constituent of the markets being bearish yesterday and today is because of the US dollar. So with the US dollar, with the Fed rate cuts that had been taken place, right? Fed. rate cut. So the Fed rate cut had been taken place yesterday, and because of the Fed rate cut, the value which was previously at 4.75 is currently at 4.5%, right? So there has been a reduction of 25 basis point. When the interest rate of a particular currency drops, the value appreciates, right? So it has an inverse relationship. Does that sound good? Because the dollar is appreciating, the index of the US, right, is having a bearish sentiment, right? The markets have fallen quite significantly, right, since yesterday. There has been a correction of almost, sorry, 3.88, right, very close to 4%, approximately 4% correction in the S&P 500, which is the index of the US economy. Because the dollar is rising, our current Indian indices are also more or less having a bearish sentiment. So yesterday the the prices had gapped by almost 1%, right? So with the 1% decline, not just decline but a gap in the open of the price, right? That because the data was shared at 12:30 midnight, the market opens at 9:15, so there is a big time difference between the news event that had been taken place and when the stock market opened, with the intensity of or the effect of the US dollar rate cut, Fed rate cut. That is the reason the prices have fallen. And now currently the prices are sitting in an important area which is termed as a flip zone, right? Flip zones are basically key zones which are having a lot of weightage. So we will be keeping an eye on this particular key zone, which is around the 23,850 level. And based on this, we should be expecting a bullish sentiment, but we will keep an eye and let you know. Sophia is writing, sorry, the decline in the overall market can be attributed to the accumulation of US dollar positions and the selling of foreign capital. That is correct. As I had talked to you about, since the dollar has been rising, right, because of the federal rate cut, the dollar has strengthened significantly, as well as the FII. Let me show it to you quickly. In terms of the FII, as you can see, there still has been tremendous amount of selling in the markets, right? Not just today, yesterday. Remember, the data is always shown based on the previous complete data range, correct? So based on the entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so more or less for this entire week, which is starting, sorry, 1 second. All right, so for this entire week, because the markets are currently having the sentiment, or sorry, the rate that has come out for the last 5 days, more or less, there has been a deficit, with currently the last current data showing that the FII had, sucked out capital of funds worth 4,204.90 crores. Remember, in terms of DII, which is domestic institution investors, they have been showing only an advance in terms of capital allocation worth around 3,943. So there is still an overall deficit when it comes to the Indian economy. So Sophia is correct. That is one of the major reasons why we are seeing a decline in the share market since yesterday. Most importantly, it's because of the US dollar, but secondly, it is because of the FIIs, which are still having a huge amount of sentiment of shifting funds from the Indian economy and placing it into global economies, right? How many of you are understanding? I hope it's making sense. We are able to connect as many dots as possible. So once, let me just tell it to you, it has been because of the dollar as well as the FII. In terms of the overall sentiment as of today morning, you can currently see that even the nifties, right, all the indices which include Nifty 100, 200, 50, 500, auto, bank, they are still having a decline, right, with ranges between 0.27 to 0.63. still the overall sentiment of the market is still being bearish, right? With 33% still having bearish bias, 12 or 37% having neutral bias, where they're not still sure what the markets are going to do. So that's why they are on the sidelines, still waiting to decide what has to be the current direction. And only 30% of them are having a bullish bias. So still, in terms of sentiment, we are still having bearish bias, right? How many of you are understanding? If you have any questions, do let me know, and I will try my best to resolve it. Correct? So, Sophia, thank you so much for providing us with value, because it is correct. These two factors that you have mentioned about the reason for today's economy falling is very vital, and thank you for your interaction as well. Make sure the markets are mainly controlled by the FIIs. So if there is an outflow of funds based on the FIIs, the markets do have a bearish sentiment. And to top it up, it was because of the most important and recent major event of the Fed rate cuts. It is not just about the Fed rate cuts, but also the US economy is planning to cut the number of rate cuts in the year 2025. So that is another reason why the dollar has been appreciating quite well. But on the inverse, the indices, whether it is the US economies indices like S&P 500, Dow Jones 30, or whether it is the Indian economies, Nifty, Sensex, they are also taking a huge toll. Correct? So currently, let's get back to the charts, and let us be clear that yes, the markets are still having bearish sentiment. But now that we are looking at the markets and looking at it from a technical perspective, we will keep an eye around the key area, the key flip zone at 23,850, and we will see how the markets are performing. Because if there is a good amount of bullish sentiment that starts to come in, we can expect the stocks, the watch lists that are currently running, they should be doing well as for the same, right? Because if the index is going up, the general sentiment is that the stocks should be going up as well. So in terms of yesterday's hot stock recommendation that had been closed at a profit, we are talking about IP rings. How many of you have taken this trade? Write down in the comment box and let me know how many of you have taken trade and have closed the trade at a profit of 5% yesterday. How many of you? All right, people are saying yes, Harsh. We had taken trades, we had made profits. Remember, this trade, though it was shared on 12th of November, yesterday, which is 19th of December, we have been able to achieve our profit target. That is another reason why we focus so much on the 5% profitability. I hope everyone remembers, right? Whenever we are looking for a hot stock recommendation, give me a minute. Whenever we are looking for a hot stock recommendation, we generally tend to focus on the 5% profitability. And that is the reason, right? When markets achieve the 5% profitability, we are observing that the moment the 5% is achieved, the markets start to reverse, or the market starts to correct. How many of you are able to understand what I'm saying? Whenever the markets are moving, the markets have a general tendency to move around 5%, right? So we are looking to take consistent trades, and we are looking to book consistent profits. How many of you are willing to take trades and see the profits coming in consistently? Write down in the comment box and let me know your answers. So for this particular stock that people have taken, for those who have taken, good job. I'm very happy that people are taking action and people are making money, because at the end, the main objective for us is to make money. That is the reason why everyone is coming to this live streaming session, so that they can have more value from our services. And that is exactly what Harsh is trying to provide to you. I want to make sure that all my viewers or my clients are receiving high value content, and I want to see you making good profits as well. So make sure to be attentive, make sure to keep a pen and paper next to you so that you can take notes and make sure that your trading account is open. The moment a hot stock is observed by me or analyzed by me, I will provide to you. But you can only make money if you take trades. How many of you agree with that? You can only make money if you take the trades. You have to take action, and only if you take action can you see the magic. What is the magic? The magic is making money, correct? So let us look at all the other watch lists in terms of the stocks that have been running. In terms of, let me just remove these drawings 1 second. Now, in terms of the watch list, right? So we had looked even at quickly. Let me just show you the values for this particular stock, and that is going to be for Kriti. So we had provided you with an entry between 170 and 175, and our target at 178, 184, the 5% target that I'm talking about. So let me just get back to the charts and let me put the values for your reference, right? So this trade was taken on 11th of November. So quickly, let me just put a horizontal ray. 11th of November, sorry, my bad, 11th of December. So 11th of December is here. We had provided you with the entry being between 170 and 175. Okay. And so this has been the range of entry right now, with our target going to being between 178 and 184. So let me put the target ranges as well. 178, and let me change the color to green, and 174. 184, my bad. Okay. So let me repeat it again. For this particular stock, I'm just putting the values because apparently the drawings are missing on the chart. But nonetheless, when I say to all my viewers and clients, when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear. For people who haven't taken the trade, you should be taking the trade because this can be making you money. All right. So let me just repeat it quickly. For Kriti Industries listed on the National Stock Exchange, we had provided you with entries between 170, 175, and a 5% target being between 178 and 184. Now that the prices are currently in a sideways movement, please let me just make you understand clearly what is the overall sentiment, right? The markets have been bearish, right? But as of now, the markets are more or less towards the sideways. So previously, the markets had been correcting quite significantly. Am I correct? The markets had been creating lower highs, lower lows. The sentiment had been bearish, but as of now, the markets are ranging sideways. So now that the markets are ranging sideways, we will be expecting the markets to continue up, and that is what we would be wanting to keep an eye and see how the markets are performing. In terms of the other important structure that I can see as of now, the markets have come into a strong area of support. Now some people might be calling it as support, some people would be calling it as a zone, a demand zone. There are many terminologies that people are using, different terminologies, but the overall sentiment remains the same, right? And that is for prices to react from certain key point areas. The support area, which is around the 160 price level approximately, has been holding quite well. So even if we do expect the prices to come and return back to the opposite area, right? Because overall the prices have only one duty to perform, and that is to move from one key level to the next key level, right? In general, that is the overall movement or the overall objective of prices. So prices should have or have higher probability of reaching the opposite area of resistance. Now whether you call it as resistance, whether you want to call it as supply zone, it is again a key important area where we would be expecting the prices to continue. So we will be keeping an eye on this. For those of you who have the trades running on Kriti, good job. The prices are more or less around the same area. You do not have to worry, right? Even the other information that I wanted to share you quickly was based on the seasonality. Since we are expecting this particular stock to have a bullish sentiment in the coming weeks or in the coming time, we want to see how the same stock had performed previously during the during the year of 2023 and and during the year of 2022, just as a reference, correct? So in the year of 2023, which is the red color line, the prices have been appreciating, right? The prices have been going up. Similarly, for the year 2022, the prices have been appreciating, right? The line is increasing in value, and that is what we expect. All the years, whether 2023, 2022, or 2021, all of them have a positive growth rate, right, based on the line chart. And that is the reason we should be seeing a similar movement of price on this particular stock. How many of you are understanding? Right? Remember, main objective for you is to take trades and take trades so that you can keep making money. We want our viewers, we want our clients to be making money consistently. How many of you want to make good profits? Let me know in the chat box. In terms of Annapurna, also the prices had more or less come back into that same structure of support, right? So prices have returned with the overall swing. Let me just draw that swing quickly. So the prices had definitely been creating lower highs and lower lows, but the last important key structure, which has been this particular area, correct? So the last zone, which was responsible for the prices for the downtrend, has been taken out. I hope people are understanding. Let me just draw it again. Let me change the color to red. So previously the trend had been bearish all the way from end of August all the way to end of October. There had been bullish sentiment, correct? With the onset of price, you can clearly see that the last movement of price based on the last pivots, right? The key important areas, which was previously as resistance, has been taken out. How many of you are understanding? So this has been taken out. Now that the prices have created what was called as, a lower high and a lower low, right now has created the first higher high. As of now, the prices have returned back to the important area of support, or whether you want to call it as demand zone, and we should be expecting the prices to continue up. So those of you who are holding Annapurna, how many of you are having this particular trade running on your platforms? Write down in the comment box, let me know your answers. So overall, we would be expecting more or less for this particular stock to return back to its original key area, right? The key resistance area. So we will be keeping an eye on this as well, and we will be letting you know in terms of any updates that need to be taken. For those of you who are asking whether there are any hot stock recommendations for today, please understand the market have just opened. We are still analyzing the markets, and if we do come across a high probability hot stock, I will make sure to provide it to you, correct? So you do not have to worry about it. We have been providing consistently, right? Our record showcases it day after day, week after week, month after month, that yes, we not only provide with you with hot stock recommendations, but we also showcase our profitability on a real-time basis. So how many of you would like to make these kind of returns, right? These are happening on a consistent basis, right? Not just once in a month or two or twice in a month. 3 months have been finished for now based on our record keeping, and we are sitting at 38 trades. So if you divide approximately the total number of trades taken per month comes to around 13. 12 to 13 is the number of trades. So 12 trades in a month. 1 month has 20 to 21 working days. So 12 trades in 1 month is also very great. And you are seeing a tremendous, fabulous returns. And the current month itself is sitting at 41%. How many of you have been able to make these kind of returns if you were had to trade it by yourself? Exactly. It is not possible for people to make these kind of returns. Yes, maybe people might be making these returns when based on an annual basis, maybe 40% in a year. We are making 40% returns just in the month of December. That is the power that Harsh from Dolphin Markets is willing to provide to you. Provided that you become a part of Dolphin Markets, you and subscribe to Harsh's live streaming sessions. Again, let me remind you quickly. Currently, we are having our public live streaming sessions ongoing because we are creating awareness amongst the Indian demography. But as the next month starts or initiates, we are shifting to private live streaming sessions where we will be focusing only on the VIP customers. So you can become a VIP customer by becoming a part of Dolphin Markets, right? And subscribing to our services. How many of you are going to be subscribing to my services? Write down in the chat box and say, yes, Harsh, we can see the potential of making money and we want to be a part of your live streaming sessions. Rocky is writing, can we expect more fall in the market in the coming days because there is continuous selling from FII? Rocky, very good question. And yes, it does have bearish. We do expect for the bearish sentiment to continue, not just because of the FIIs. Yes, they are a major reason, but also because of the liquidity, the drop in liquidity. This is the month of December with Christmas and New Year occurring in the next 2 weeks, in the next week and the week after. Majority of the big funds, which are the banks and institutions, funds manager, correct? The people who are managing the funds, they will be going on their vacations, right? So they are not going on the vacations, they are already on their vacations. So because of that, the market is going to have a reduction in volume. Let me show it to you on the charts as well. Just based on the last couple of months, the volumes have started to decline with the month of December, right? All the way from 2nd of December. So you can clearly see that the volume over here has been quite minimal, right? Why is that? Because people are going for vacation. So if the main fund managers are going for vacations, there will be a reduction in the transactions taking place. And if there is going to be a reduction in the transactions taking place, the markets will be more or less sideways, right? Let me just remove the lines. There are too many lines that I've drawn. Okay. So there will be a sentiment for the markets to be sideways. How many of you are understanding? I hope, Rocky, that answers your question. Because of the FIIs, which are, of course, they are still selling. We have seen it from our, from the reports that have been published. The overall sentiment has still been bearish, with the last 4 days being only negative, net negative. So based on the data and also based on the dry up or the reduction in liquidity in the markets, in the global markets, right? I'm not just talking about Indian markets, but I'm talking about the global markets. We will be seeing a bearish to a sideways sentiment. All right. I hope that answers your question, Rocky. Now let's get back to the charts. So we will be keeping an eye on all the other watch lists that are currently running. Now, in terms of Kriti, the trade idea that we had provided is still more or less in the direction of what we are expecting. The support has been held, is being held quite nicely, and we want to see the prices to rise in value. And our 5% target is well before the resistance area. So that is why you can be rest assured that even if the markets have to return back to the opposite key resistance area, and for some reason, even if the markets would want to decide to continue back down, we are making money. It's not about being right about direction. Is it about being right or is it about making money? Write down in the comment box. Let me know your answers. Do you want to be right in the financial markets or do you want to make money consistently in the markets? Correct. People want to make money consistently. So let us just keep focusing on our recommendations. I want to make sure that people are taking action, right? People, are providing me with good amount of feedback that yes, Harsh, you are very well and good, very well and very good in talking, and you communicate well. But I want to see my viewers making money, and for you to make money, you have to follow my instructions, take my hot stock recommendations, be active for all my live streaming sessions, and make sure to take notes so that if you have any doubts or if you forgot to ask me something previously, you can always let me know, right? So, Sophia and Rocky, it is always a pleasure having you because your comments and interactions keep me motivated, and I'm able to, do my level best in answering your questions and resolving any queries that are necessary, right? So I hope all your answers are, all your queries are being answered to. And if you have any other doubts, you are more than welcome to ask me, so that I can do my best to rectify those. In terms of the other stocks that we are currently having, with IP rings, I'm pretty sure and I hope the people who have taken trades, sorry, on IP rings, I would want to congratulate you. But for those who have not taken, how many of you have taken on this? How many of you have closed this particular hot stock at a profit? Write down in the comment box and let me know. So for those who have taken the stock, we have achieved a 5% profitability target, and the month of December has been fabulous for us because we are sitting at 41%, right? Now, in terms of the Poonawalla, right? When it comes to Poonawalla, which is basically coming into the banking and finance sector, first, quickly, let us just go and see how is the overall sector of the Indian market performing, right? So let us go and have a quick look in terms of sector analysis. So when it comes to banks and financials, let me just search where banks and finance are coming into. So more or less, it is sitting at a 0.01% advance, right? Hardly any kind of price difference, with 93 companies advancing in value and 115 declining in the performance as of today. So when we were looking at Poonawalla, let me just quickly show it to you. With Poonawalla, yes, except for the last 3 years performance, which has been fantastic, the remaining time periods, which is the last year all the way till last week, has been on a deficit. Does anyone know why people are losing? Sorry, why the performance of Poonawalla is not being that great? Anyone? Sophia is writing Hind oil exploration. I want to entry. Sophia, we will quickly have a look on those, on that stock, but once we will after finishing this particular stock. So for Poonawalla, how many of you have, are aware why the price of Poonawalla is falling? Why the performance of of this particular stock is not performing that great? Anyone? Well, the reason has to be because of the quarterly two earning results, right? The quarterly two earning results have not been great at all. For quarterly two earning reports, I'm talking about this year. Poonawalla has declared its quarterly earning two reports, which was declared on 25th of October, and revealing a top line growth of 33.88. However, the company reported a significant loss of 471 crores for the quarter, a stark contrast to the profit of 860 that was reported in the same period last year. So 2023 they had generated good profits, but in the year 2024 for the same quarter they had reported a loss of 471. So now this is the reason why the prices have been falling since the last year. How many of you are getting my point, right? And that is how the prices on the chart are being affected as well. The prices have been falling quite significantly to the downside, and we would be keeping an eye in terms of any other recommendation or advancement in terms of instruction that needs to be provided to you. Now, Sophia was talking about Hind oil. So let me just quickly go to Hind oil and see What are we looking at? Now, when we are talking about Hind oil, please bear in mind that we already have sorry, that we already have hot stocks that have been shared in the past, right? So we have Hind oil that has been shared four times, right? So four hot stock recommendations have been shared over the last 3 months. Why the price of Hind oil has been declining? Does anyone know the reason why the price of this particular stock, which is Hindustan Oil Exploration listed on the National Stock Exchange, has been declining in its performance? The reason has been because of the geopolitical uncertainties, right? Everyone, I'm sure, is aware of the the calamities and the conflicts that are taking place across the globe. Even there is a correction in the international crude oil prices. Now, with the correction in the international crude oil prices, Hind oil has also taken a hit. Why has Hindustan oil exploration taken a hit? It is because it is into the oil sector. If the international crude oil sector is being affected, the Indian crude oil sector will be affected as well. How many of you are agreeing with me, right? So all our trades that have been provided, one, two, three, and the fourth one. Let me just make sure the fourth one is, it's been at 240, right? So 240. These are the trades which have been placed, and we have the average price, which is more or less around the 227 mark. So Sophia is telling she wants to enter on this particular stock. But Sophia, let us just quickly have a look in terms of the market sentiment, what the market is showing for this particular stock. Before we talk about sentiment, let me just talk to you from a technical analysis perspective, because that is where Harsh specializes in, correct? So, based on this particular stock, the price has no doubt been in a downward trend. As of now, the prices have shifted their sentiment from being bearish to being neutral. So now the markets are more or less going in a sideways trajectory, right? Being sideways. In terms of taking a trade in the direction of bullish momentum is not advisable as of now. In terms of adding an additional position, we already have four trades running on this. Please bear in mind, we want our viewers to be making money consistently, but sometimes there are certain stocks which are not going in our favor. Could be because of microeconomical factors or macroeconomical factors, right? But we have already improvised, and we will keep an eye on this. Even in terms of volume, you can be seeing that the volume is more or less declining. There is not much volume for prices to move in the direction. So we will keep an eye on this, and if any necessary action has to be taken, we will let you know, right? There has been good amount of volume based on the 1 hour coming out, but similarly we are not getting a clarity in terms of picture. But you do not have to worry. Whenever a necessary instruction or has to be provided, I will make sure to provide it to you, right? So we will focus on those trades that are first and foremost making us money consistently, because we are focused on generating profits consistently, right? How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? Even if you're going to be looking at Hind oil from sentimental and fundamental point of view, let us just put Hind oil. Sorry for my voice. Have not been feeling well. So if anyone has been feeling that my voice has changed, is because of the viral that has been taking place. The weather is changing, so that is the reason. So looking at Hind oil, we can see that even based on the performance, right, of the last 3 years to the last 1 week, the prices are more or less appreciating in value, with the last quarter taking a toll, right? The last 3 months, in terms of its overall movement, in terms of ROE. Anyone aware what ROE stands for? Do you know what ROE is? Write down. If you know, write yes in the chat box and let me know. So ROE is basically the measure of a company's net income, right, divided by its total shareholder equity. even the ROE value based on the last year has been declining. So, Sophia, from a point of view in terms of analyzing whether the value that the current stock is being provided at for the price, it is undervalued, right? Because it is, when it was, at a value, let me just show it to you on the chart. When it was at a value of when it was at a value of around 290 in the month of August, right? Approximately in the month of August, that same value has been being provided, the same value of the stock, right? The same share is being provided at 200. So there is a difference of how much? 290, right? Approximately just 300, and right now it's at around 200, plus or minus approximately $100 difference in the price, in the range of the price. And that is why the stock is undervalued. So all the data that we are being seeing based on fundamentals, right, is showing that yes, whether the ROE data, whether the ROA, the return on assets data has been showing, currently they are still showing a bearish picture, an undervalued picture. ROE is showing the picture. ROA, which is return on assets. How many of you are aware what ROA is, right? Sorry. ROA is basically how the company is profitable related to its total assets. So ROA has been started to increase in value. Based on last year, the value was sitting at 10.5, with the current value being at 11.6. So the as return on assets are increasing, but the return on equity is slightly same or diminishing at a lower pace. But EPS, how many of you know what EPS is? Okay, EPS is nothing but earnings per share. How is the company measured based on its how's the profitability of a company measured? Even the EPS is showing an increase, right? From last year being at 14.7 to the current year value for the year being at 17.1. So from one perspective, you can see that the price had been, falling down. So the value of the stock had been, being reduced, or we use the term as undervaluation. But as of now, just based on the last month and week, there is a good amount of buying pressure again. So we will let you know in terms of what steps have to be taken, but make sure, let us provide you with the parameters, only then take the trades, right? You shouldn't be coming back to us later telling that, Harsh, I added an additional trade but it's still going, because we will be doing our due diligence and only after that we will be providing it to you. Quickly having a look at terms of in terms of what the income statement is showing based on the last couple of quarters, right? Currently being September 2024, the current quarter that is running, when you're comparing it to the month of the last or the previous quarter before that, in terms of revenue and net income, there has been a decline, right? So in the month of in the first in the previous quarter, previous to previous quarter, we are seeing the revenue being at 0.14 and the net income being at 0.11. So comparing it to the recent quarter, the values have declined quite intensively, right? At 0.09k for revenue and 0.04k for net income. So comparing it to the previous, the overall data, right, going back all the way to last year, including the last year, it was March where there was good amount of movement of a good appreciation in the value of revenue, but still compared to the current last two quarters, we are not seeing, or the values are diminishing, correct? In terms of balance sheet, how many of you know what balance sheet is? All right. So balance sheet is nothing but the difference about the main how we can analyze how the company's assets are performing versus the company's liabilities, right? So based on the assets and the liabilities, we have been seeing that over the last year, right? Let us just look at the last 2 years, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So we have been seeing that the liabilities have been more or less similar, but the assets have been rising consistently. That is a good sign that shows that yes, because Hindustan oil exploration, at the end it is, related to a tangible product, right? A product that can be held like oil. So we want to see that the assets are increasing and the liabilities are always should be lower compared to the assets, correct? Now, in terms of even its peer comparison, every company in the business will always be having peer comparison, and we can be seeing that Hindustan Oil has a PE ratio. What is PE ratio? PE ratio is price to earnings. Right now, sitting at 15.61, and it is much, it is higher. Sorry, it is lower than Jind Grill, but compared to oil and ONGC, it is much higher. Compared to the PB ratio, so PB ratio is price to book value, and that is currently sitting at 2.26, right? So it is higher compared to all the other ratio. That shows that any generally we are looking for the PB ratio to be less than 3. So Hindustan Oil being at 2.26 is quite phenomenal, but no dividends as of now. So there are many factors pertaining to this particular stock, but let me get back to you in terms of looking for a hot stock recommendation, right? So I hope people are paying attention. How many of you have taken and closed the trade recommendation that was provided on IP rings, right? I want to make sure that people understand. First and foremost, it is about making money. Harsh can do all the talking in the world when it comes to the financial markets, but most importantly, it is how our customers, our viewers are being benefited by in terms of making profits. So we want to see our customers, our clients making money, and for that we are providing you with our recommendations. So make sure you are taking the recommendations and you are closing them when the 5% target is being achieved. So how many people have understood overall the overall syntax in the sorry sentiment of the index has more or less been bearish to neutral, with the prices currently sitting at an important key level structure, right? All the other stocks that we are currently looking at are either having bearish sentiment because the overall index is bearish based on the US Fed rate cut, and we will be keeping an eye in all the other trades and hot stocks that we have provided, and we will let you know with the best plan of action that has to be taken, right? So everyone, I hope everyone has got good amount of knowledge. Unfortunately, we did not have any hot stock recommendation as of this particular live streaming session. Please make sure to arrive for my second live streaming session where we will be analyzing and updating you in terms of what the markets have conducted as far as now, and if there are any other opportunities in the markets, I will make sure to provide to you. So the next live streaming session will be taken care by my colleague Mr. Aditya, who is very good with fundamentals. So for those of you who want to know more about fundamentals and numbers of the Indian financial markets, please stay tuned because he is going to be conducting the next live streaming session after I finish mine. Again, let me repeat, let people be aware that I will be also having my second live streaming session based on the timings provided. So make sure you arrive for those as well. Hopefully, everyone should be making good amount of money and should be gaining valuable information based on our live streaming sessions. I thank everyone who has been staying tuned with us for this live streaming session, and a huge applause for all of those who have made profits based on yesterday's trade. Okay, so I will catch you in the next live streaming session. I hope everyone has a great afternoon, and I will see you later. Until then, namaste and take care. Bye bye.